All right, hello everybody, welcome back to the POW Jam live stream. It's so good to see everybody. All right, hold on a second. We want to have quick light in here. Let's make this just a tiny bit. Oh, wait a minute, we could use our streamer camera too. Hey, let's try that. It'll be more efficient. I don't have to like use up ink. We want the ink saved. We want the ink to be used by our special guest. Lights are on. Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you guys in forever. I think, what was the last time we all hung out? Was it like Halloween? Was it like 2 years ago? It feels like 2 years ago. So happy to see you guys. Who do we have with us today? Spuckly. Hello, Spuckly. Thank you for joining us. Everybody say hello to Spuckly, our YouTube mod in training over here. They've been doing awesome. You guys copy. Thank you. Thank you for confirming. Yes. Basketball. Hello, Basketball God. Nostalgia. Thank you for the copy. Appreciate it. Thank you, Nostalgia. Bugsy. Hello, Bugsy. Hello, Smiling. Oh, you're so polite to Nightbot. Nightbot gets piggy sometimes. Oh my gosh. Okay, yo, check out our poll. We're gonna we're experimenting with this poll. Okay, the poll options are, okay, if you want to do dorm picks, we're gonna focus on likes or subs. But I'm gonna say let's try subs. If anybody rolls through, let's remind them to hug the sub buttons. If we, I think it's like, oh, if 10 folks just hug the sub button, it's like same thing as we do with the likes. If they just hug that, we do the first, it unlocks the first thing on the list, which is dorm picks. Yes. And then if they keep hugging, it unlocks Rec and Seek. And if they keep on hugging, it unlocks horror maps. You guys are definitely wanting horror maps, I see. 39% of you guys, 39% of the votes are for horror maps. That's in first place. So we gotta get folks to hug the sub. Then second place is dorm picks. Oh, it's been a minute. Yeah, it's been a minute since we've done dorm picks. I can see why, we want to do that. And I'm surprised that in third place is Rec and Seek. Oh my goodness. Smash the like. Yeah, that's right, Spooky. So smash that like. Hug that and hug the sub. All right, guys, I'm so excited for today's live stream. We do this maybe once a month or about once a month on average, where we invite somebody to come and demonstrate some really awesome building techniques, players who are like masters at what they do. So without further ado, let's welcome our special guest. Right here next to me, we've got REDREEBOOTDRAWS. Yay, thank you so much for joining us, Red.
Hello. Hello everyone.
Oh my gosh. All right, guys, I haven't been to the latest map that they've built just yet, because I was waiting for you guys. Okay, but what is your latest the latest, in case you don't know, some of their latest maps are PoppyPlaytime. Okay. Yep. So I feel like at least one of you guys in the chat right now have definitely been in that map. I don't know. Show me with a raise hand emoji. Who's been in there? I'm just curious. Everyone's saying hello, Red. Nostalgia saying hello. JC Moss says hello. Japa, hey, it's good to see you. It's Japa. It's Japa, guys. Yes. Remember to hug the sub. Hug that sub. We've got 31 votes. 31 votes already. Nice. Okay. Yes. Okay. So let's get to know Red, you guys. If you guys haven't had a chance to visit Red's map or had a chance to meet Red just yet, let's say hello. Red, please go ahead and share with the stream a little bit about yourself.
Well, hello everyone, my name's Red, and I enjoy doing things such as character design, and it's something that I want to thrive in the future. So I tend to teach a lot about how to create characters, especially when it comes to the hard part.
Oh, nice.
So I have my ways and techniques of how to do character design, and I'm going to show you guys today how to do that. And that should be really fun.
Super excited. What was one of your first maps, earlier maps that you felt like, oh wow, this is picking up traction, people are really enjoying this? One of your
I think one of the first maps we did that kind of started picking up was the Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
It's been a while since that has been out.
Help Wanted. Okay, Five Nights at Freddy Help Wanted. Okay. Awesome. All right, people are saying what's up, they want to join. Oh, just you wait, there'll be a chance after we're done going through the demonstration. We want to make sure we have nice clean how-to on this, and then it might be something you guys have a chance to come in here and like interact with. So we're gonna see. Awesome. All right, do me a favor, guys. Throughout this stream, feel free to ask any questions. This is for you guys to get to pick. You guys have a chance to like directly chat with Red, one of the horror masters, okay? One of the horror masters in Rec Room, and pick their brain, okay? As they're here to like share their like pro tips, their like all their wisdoms, okay, guys? Definitely. All right, I'm super excited. Okay, let's get going. Tell us about, let me grab the camera. Tell us about character development for sure. Okay, where would you like to start?
So, when it comes to character development, and I'm currently in university, so I'm teaching you stuff that which is really fun because I can pass it on for those that are going to be, kind of going into this kind of thing. So, in character development, you think about the kind of elements that make up your character. So that could be the fact that they could be really mean. So when you want to like really sharp edges, kind of show that, especially around the eyebrow, it becomes like the angry kind of eyebrows. Over here, you might see on the back here, I have put 3 shapes: a square, a triangle, and a sphere. Now these shapes can be used to portray a character and can be put together. Today I'm going to teach you how to use those shapes, how to create something really simple and build from that, where you can create your character. That could be any type of character. So as I explained before, using triangles can make your character very angular, very angry, very mean, and then you can use circles, which will make it a very soft character, very, very cute, very nice to interact with. Squares are usually used to kind of block out the basic shape of a character, and then after we've done that, we'll then go into further development, which is when we actually start to draw out our character and use that later on when it comes to outlines. This can be as reference or genuine outlines that, for me as a creator, will use to create a character such as Freddy Fazbear and Poppy and Huggy and stuff like that.
Nice.
So I do have right beside me, we can go down to a showcase of some models that I've built in the past. Now, hold your eyes, because this is some wizardry stuff. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do a countdown.
A countdown, okay. 3,
2,
1.
Ta-da!
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Look at these! Oh man, you guys! Oh my goodness, look at these characters.
So a lot of
Beautiful
you who
models.
have been playing the PoppyPlaytime might recognize this one over here. A very scary little I say little, but he's not very little. He's a very tall and lanky character. But these are some of the character models that I've made before that, and the techniques that have been used on these, I will hopefully be able to show you today when creating a character, and maybe kind of, if you have any questions afterwards, I can then kind of guide you on how to do these kind of things, because some techniques can be harder than others. I think one that people do kind of struggle with is smoothing. I will be showing you today how to also do that. So any of you who struggle with smoothing, I'll be able to help you with that. So I showcase some of the characters. I think this was an original one. This was like a ride I made because I was going to do a player game that never actually got started or kicked up. And we have, for any of you who know Doctor Who, we have a Dalek here. And
yeah, let's see.
Then we have like a Cyberman at the back.
All right.
So yeah, over here we have a Dalek. This one took a while to do, because of the shape. Specifically, the bottom bit was very hard to kind of do. I had a few pieces of tube, but it's definitely worth it. A lot of these models too, at the moment they are merged, but a lot of these models have limbs where you can kind of move them around and animate them as they would move from like the game that you're referencing, or the TV show, or just in general an original character. And I'll be showing you your best place to put pivot parts to for when you want to animate these characters. So we have another one over here. This one's a recognizable one for those who have been to directors and know of it in Cloverflow. This is a character that I definitely like. I think I did well with this. In terms of trying to figure out the balance between me and Happy. No spoilers for those who haven't played Director's Cut. But when you do play Director's Cut, you'll definitely see the kind of way that he speaks to you. It's almost like a passive aggressiveness. He looks nice, but in general, he can be very mean when he wants to be.
Oh, nice.
Portrayed by like the red jacket, and especially the darker colours that come along with it.
I love it.
So, and then we have in the middle here, we have Freddy Fazbear. I am a very big fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, so I build Five Nights at Freddy's models, and that's where my kind of character modeling started. I think at this point I've gotten to the kind of point of almost perfection, where I've currently, the thing that's learned me how to do all of this is I was to be redoing my characters, you know, giving them upgrades, maybe seeing wrong with the model and then correcting it on the next time round. A lot of time goes into these models. And it's definitely worth it in the end for anyone who's going into modeling. Take your time, and you'll get something that's worth the time you've put to it. But you can use techniques like, for example, the ears here. When putting to the light, like with dark, put the light on it, you can see that it kind of creates a shadow here, and you use around the outside. Now, that is actually an original model of the bear himself. That was a way to replicate that kind of effect using the old tube. You can see here a lot of the times, especially on sockets, I will use tube. It is usually to block it out and to kind of make it look a little bit more professional than trying to put spheres all around. That's also a good technique for ink saving too. Instead of using like millions and millions of pounds, like of spheres just to kind of make a round shape when you can easily do it with tube around the outside.
Nice.
Some models like this too can also contain an inside, so inside the actual costume there is actually an endoskeleton.
Ooh.
So
We're looking
that can be used in models
at
like
the
this.
Freddy organs skeleton.
Yes.
All right, this camera's become like a surgical camera, right? Microscopic. Let's go. All right. Oh my gosh. All right, we have a question in the chat. Let's see. We have a question in the chat. I see one from Basketball God. Basketball God asks, when did you start making rooms? When did you start making rooms in
When did I start making rooms?
Yes.
So when I started making a room, I believe this was just before the maker came out. I made a room. It's a very old room, and I made a tube dragon purely made out of tube, and it was like me swirling ground to kind of create almost like a shape, but it was just a piece of tube that I'd currently carry on going in circles with, and I'd create the character out of that. My first proper room started with, I believe it was FNAF RP Day, a very old room. That's when I first started doing stuff, and that's when Maker Pen was a thing. And I did that, and at one point I got told that doing a working Five Nights at Freddy's game after that would be too difficult for a beginner, but I still went ahead and did it because I'm a champ. Never give up, guys. Carry on going, and you get somewhere.
Yeah.
If anyone ever put you down, you carry on.
That's right.
You do it because
That's right.
it's worth it.
Nice. We have another question. This question is from Jamal on VR. They're asking, how do you design jump scares? How do you think of them? How do you plan for that? Jump scares.
So,
I'm gonna get close to the two weeks
when we
as you share.
When we did jump scares, you used to do it in like a black box with a character that I'd kind of just be there, or I'd need a separate version of the model in order to make the jump scare. And it'd usually be a scaled up version. So now that seats are a thing, and when CV2 came out and we attached things to people's faces, jump scares became a whole new thing. Usually now you can use an animation gizmo and get that player's ID and usually just shoot them onto the seat and play the animation. That's what is done in PoppyPlaytime.
Oh my
where,
gosh.
You can get jump scared and it's physically you being pulled up towards the jump rather than you being teleported. So it's an instant jump scare. Like you don't even you don't have the orange cubes to tell you that a jump scare is about to happen. You just get picked up and jump scared. And I think that's what jump scares need to be. It needs to be instant. It needs to be quick. It needs to be sharp. It needs to be scary.
Oh my gosh.
The orange cubes kind of ruined that. But now that CV2 is a thing, seats, it got a whole lot worse in terms of jump scares. Like,
oh my
scary.
gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah. The stream is agreeing with what you were saying just a little bit earlier, like never give up and stuff. And Aragon, they're saying Aragon is such a good book. Smiley says Aragon is such a good book. Nice. Hello, Neo VR. Welcome to the stream, you guys. All right. Haven Duck. Hello, welcome to the stream. Haven Duck asks, how do you make characters move? Okay, so we're gonna get into it. Good question, guys. We're gonna get into the building, and we'll definitely that's about to get covered, as Red demonstrates. All right, Red. Oh man, thank you for sharing these awesome character designs. Look at these details. One more look before we head over to demonstrating. Look at me. Look at this. Look at this. My gosh, they're reaching out at you guys. Ah! Here. We're gonna zoom in.
Pretty shocking.
Let's take
For
you
anyone
guys.
who watches Doctor get that.
If they move,
Pretty
I don't want them to. I don't want them moving on me. I'm about to zoom in for you guys. If these guys move at all, headphone warning. Okay, okay. Oh my gosh. Like, please don't move. Please don't move. Like, I'm about to show you guys the inside. What? Oh my god. Okay.
I got you. I got you.
All right, I'm about to freeze this world. Red. That was wrong. Okay, we're not going in there. All right, guys. On to the lesson. That's how you do a jump scare. That was so
unexpected.
The tension was building. I was getting close to it. I really wanted to get the viewers inside of that grill. And then the thing leaped forward. Oh my gosh.
It's fine. You have my word. I'm not gonna move it.
Okay, here we go. No, I can't. No, I can't handle it. I can't. My heart's like, I can't go over there now. I can't go over there now. I was gonna show you guys a close up.
That's it. I'm done.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you're done? Are you? But are you done? I think you're alive. Like my. Okay, after that jump scare, I'm actually a little bit scared. I feel like they're all gonna come alive. These are like FNAF-y. Like, don't be fooled. They're very still right now, but they're gonna come alive. No, let's move on. It's okay. Let's go over here. If you guys want us to do a horror thing after this, hug. I maybe it's just the shadows. Okay.
Just watching.
Cause it's right. They're right there. They're right there. I'm here. They're right there. Looking at you.
This has come like Five Nights at Freddy's all over again.
I know.
Like,
it is bright. I chose a bright map for this for reasons. And I kind of wanted it to do in a dark map. I'm glad we're not in the dark map. I'll be screaming right now, and nothing's even moving just because of shadows or if I see a pixel. Yeah.
If this was a dark map,
yeah,
I would have purposefully set up jump scares.
No. Thank you. No, thank you. Did I just see a cube flying? Am I imagining things? I could have sworn I saw a cube. Ah! There it is. It's not a cube. It's a tube. You shouldn't be here. Come on. All right, let's get back to it. All right, lesson time. Thank goodness this is a bright map. All right. Okay, what are we gonna learn first?
So, first we're gonna learn how you can put some basic shapes together, and Pow, I actually want you to help out with this and kind of go.
You want me to help?
This.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to create some character shapes. So
okay.
I'm gonna do a demonstration. Have you ever heard of Pyramid Head?
Yes, from Resident Evil.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh no, from Silent Hill.
So,
from Silent Hill.
Oh yeah, Silent Hill. Sorry, yeah.
I know.
So,
I know my pyramid.
I'm gonna give you a demonstration.
Character.
Are you ready?
Okay, demonstration. Okay. Watch closely.
Characters again.
Oh no.
So,
Let me get the camera.
As we know, Head is a very basic shape. Or it doesn't look like a basic shape, but what if I tell you that all I need to do to get Pyramid Head is a pyramid and a square.
Oh.
So I'm going to scale this up.
Oh.
So that you can see clearly. So if I go like this, and I take this cube, and I make it into a rectangle, and I take this pyramid over here, and I flatten it out,
Ooh.
and I put it
Okay.
right here, and I extend that out,
Mm.
you might have noticed that there is your basic shape pyramid head.
Awesome. I can do
You've
this.
got your body, and then
All right, here's mine.
oh,
Done. I made mine.
nice.
I made mine.
So that is your basic shape pyramid head.
Let's go. Nice. Okay, we got 2 of them. Okay, so this is pyramid. Okay, pyramid head. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So you can use these kind of, like this as an example, and you come up with some really creative like characters. For example, as we know, a snowman is just 3 spheres stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, that's right.
Identifiable as a
Nice.
snowman, but it uses the same principle as this.
Okay.
It's just spheres stacked on each other.
Okay, got it. All right, cool. So that's the main the main lesson for today is how we think of a character, but we first think of their simple shapes and build them up with the simple shapes, and then we start fleshing them out in 3D, adding detail. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
Okay, let's have a game. Let's have not a game, but like let's make it like a collaboration with you guys. How about if the stream suggests some ideas on what character we're gonna build?
Okay.
What did you have in mind
That could
first?
work.
What did you have in? We're gonna POW jam this. What did you have in mind?
So what I'm thinking
Mm-hmm.
is we could possibly get stream to give us a set of emotions, and we have to build a character off those set of emotions. That could be, or it give us kind of a description. For example, it could be a person on the back, which at that point, you go here, just by the pyramid being slightly forward, you can tell that body is somewhat hunched.
Okay.
And then you can kind of build off of that when doing that.
Ooh.
So if stream wants to give us some suggestions,
They do.
we can build
Haven Duck.
characters off of that.
Let me undo this. Haven Duck. Oh, Haven Duck's giving some good shout outs right now. Oh! Let me show you something. What Haven Ducks is. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Oh my gosh, Haven Duck. These are so good. Okay, hold on. Let's see if we can scare Red. Okay, Red. Prepared to be
Scare me?
scared. I think it's this way. All right, let me back up the camera. Can I grab this camera? I'm gonna back up this camera. Okay, I want you to face the camera. I'm about to spawn a thing. I'm gonna scare you. All right, I should not. Well, I can't.
Scaring me?
Yeah. Watch this. Okay. Boo!
Oh my! Oh!
You cannot unsee
Oh,
this.
no.
You cannot unsee this.
I can never unsee that.
Buff Pal, let's go! I love her. But I know
Wow,
it can
whoever
be
drew this,
shocking at first.
brilliant job.
I know they did amazing. All right.
Oh my god.
I love her. Oh my gosh,
I'm never
she's
gonna be able to
amazing.
see it
She's
ever
amazing.
again. Like, I'm never gonna be able to see it the same ever again.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Look, you can't scare me with horror, but you can scare me with like something
Cursed things.
Yeah.
Cursed things. I love cursed things. They're so like, where do they belong? They can belong here. All right. All right. The chat. So Haven Duck was making some suggestions, and that's why I was like, ooh, I'll spawn this. They were saying they were already choosing actually characters. They didn't, I guess, before they heard about the emotions. So they're saying stuff like skeleton, Demogorgon, Buff Pow. So this is Buff Pow. It's Strawberries. Hello, welcome to the stream. Haven's like, my Rec Room avatar. Nastasha's like, yes. Buff Pow. Nice. Everyone's saying buff pow. Oh my god, I knew it. Oh, you knew it. Yeah, you guys knew it. Okay. So emotions. And then that's gonna help inform you like some ideas for character design, for a character to design. All right, guys, how many emotions? 3? You said 3? 3 emotions?
I'd probably say everyone put one, and the one
Okay.
who can, the one that, so I'd say probably happy, sad, and the one that gets the most.
Okay, let me get you in frame.
Then we'll go by that one.
Okay. All right, guys. Hey, some people are just joining us. Hello, everybody. Those of you just joining us, welcome to a POW Jam live stream. I am POW, and this is RedReeboot. Here, I'll show you who it is, who they are. Here you go. But I can't drop my camera. I put my watch back. Okay, this is RedReebootDRAWS. They built these maps. You might have played some of them. For example, PoppyPlaytime. Let's see what other ones you might have played. This is from the Carnival Contest map, FiveNightsatFreddysSisterLocation. Yes. And one of their earlier maps is FNAF Help Wanted, correct? That one? This one? Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, guys. So in this live stream, RedReeboots is going to do some character design building and talk through their process. So you guys who are interested in building character designs, here we have like a master builder, you guys, master builder. So pick their brains, ask questions. Poison Ivy, hello, welcome. You just got back from your first ever art class? Nice. Talk to them about this. The art teachers probably know the artist. This is the artist, actually. This is Alfron. This is the artist that drew this. She is amazing. Alfron comes up with the amazing characters, like her own, like their own character designs with avatar items. Like they create. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like I love it. This character, I think they said they won some fashion contest with this character. Oh my gosh. Buff Pow with face expressions. I think people are wanting Buff Pow but with face expressions. All right, we need some emotions. All right, now that you're all here, we got Poison, we got everyone here. Poison Ivy, Nostalgia, we got Haven Duck, we've got Strawberries, Orbit. Hello, Orbit. Yes. Okay, you guys. Let's jot down a couple of emotions, okay? That we want this character that Red is gonna design. Gonna be inspired by these emotions. All right. So I'm gonna take Orbit's comment and I'm gonna make that an emotion. Let's say Orbit can't believe that they released rec pods. They can't believe. So surprised. Good job, Haven. Yep, they're surprised. Yeah, surprised. Okay, surprised.
I think I'm more surprised than you are.
Surprised. Okay, what else? Surprised. Maybe I know the common emotions usually like scary characters feel. They feel like some of them are sad. They're probably sad. They have sorrow and they've become like maybe a spirit that's like was so sad and now they're just vengeful. It's just like such down, very, very negative vibes because something tragic.
Yeah.
So there's that. There's anger, of course, vengefulness. Like I feel like a lot of like the scary feel this way. But I'm like, are there any like scary characters?
Then you get characters like Chucky, literally just a serial killer in a doll's body.
Oh, Chucky's like power tripping. They're power tripping. You're right. they don't right. Sorrow. Okay, sorrow. People are saying sorrow. So, and hello, Alex. Hi, welcome to the stream, Alex. And people are talking about some rec pods. Oh, let's see what else. Okay, so sorrow, surprised. I feel like stepping out of the box a little bit. What about well, okay, which one's one of your favorite emotions I get that you feel like inspired to design from? Scared. Ooh, that's a good one, Haven Duck. Scared. So we've got 3.
There's a lot of like
Hyper.
there is a lot of emotions I can go for. I don't know, I kind of like vengefulness.
Vengefulness. Okay. All right. Well, we've got, you know what about vengefulness? Sometimes there are spirits who they may be scary because it's like they're vengeful. They're focused on that one track. So whoever happens to be around become bystanders of whatever that, you know, spirit, power,
It's
anger
almost
thing
like
that
an
happens. That
obsession in
event.
it as soon as you know where.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Silent Hill now. No spoilers, but a kind of spoiler. Silent Hill, yeah, kind of spoiler. It's like the spirit's not like evil. They're just very angry with what happened to them in IRL, and then they when they die, they or whatever, when they just had all these feelings. You're right, super packed emotions, and I think that was like a source of their, you know, character. Their powers and stuff, like this type of, you know, something like that. So you're right. Okay. Okay. So we've got scared. We've got, is there, oh, okay. Let's challenge you guys. I love this. I love what you're saying. Let's challenge Red. Let's tell Red to make a scary character that is scared.
A scary character that is scared.
A scary character that is scared. they're thinking about it.
I can't actually think of any for this. Oh no.
I think I for some reason I feel like I can think of one. So scared because Pow's always scared. I like that challenge. Hey, try your best. Okay, I can think of one. I think it's one of those spirits that don't know. Maybe they don't know that they're, you know, that they're whatever they are.
Oh, so kind of like a scenario where they're not aware of the body they're inhabiting.
Yeah, and they're
scared. That scared other people.
Yes.
Okay.
So they're scared, but everyone's scared of them. Ooh, that's so good.
All of a sudden, all of a sudden getting clowns in my head because they think they're funny, but they'd scare other people.
I was thinking of
and then they'd be scared because they're scaring other people.
Oh, I was thinking of like a giant baby. They're scared. I think they're like, they don't like, they're, you know, imagine like a giant baby. You know how like I feel like they might be easily scared of things, but they are themselves because of their strength. You know, but
be like antique dolls.
They're very emotional, like tantrumy, and like you know they don't have balance. If they're running scared, they're gonna break. Like, you know, scared of themselves.
That'd be like an antique doll.
Someone just said. You guys are funny. Those are Snuggy Dubby. Snuggy Dubby, welcome back. Snuggy's been a while. I'm glad you're back. Snuggy's like, yeah. Well, what if they're scared of themselves?
I think I'd be scared of myself sometimes. So, let's just build me. I'm scared sometimes.
What if? Ooh, I have an idea for that, Snuggy. What if, you know, there cannot be mirrors? Because if they look at themselves, they like scream, but it's like a horrifying scream that everyone's like Everyone just, it's like the kind of scream that just everyone feels it in the core. Like they feel as frightened as whatever this thing is feeling. Like everyone just catches that emotion. Like,
So kind of like a thing of they're more
scream.
scared of you than you are of it.
Yeah. But it just adds up. They're scared of you, and you start scared of them back. They're like, so they get even more scared. It just escalates.
They're scared, and you're scared at them, then they get scared more of you, and then you get...
I think the secret to defeat them is to like calm yourself down.
The moment
like,
you even shake.
Oh, I just thought of it. Okay, you know the movie with what's the name of this movie? Earth? Is it called wait, it has Will Smith, it has Jaden Smith, and there's it's sci-fi-ish. I don't want to spoil it, but I just give you a tiny bit like trailer just a trailer amount of information because there's a creature in it that senses fear. Like when we feel fear, I guess it gives off some kind of certain something that they can pick up on. Okay. So the more scared you are, it can like detect and find you. Okay. And then when you calm down, you become invisible. You become invisible to them if you just have zero fear. None of those whatever it is that you give off. You become invincible. Yes. The chat's saying, what is this? Now they're saying Haven Duck is saying like, what if Buff Scow's scared of a little rock moving? AJ's like, that's scary. Oh, scary pal. I think I'm gonna. Oh, okay. Anyways, AJ's talking about other stuff. All right, back to the on-topic stuff. Okay, a deafening scream whenever it looks in the mirror. Oh, yeah, a deafening. So there's like different. See, there is, yeah, creatures that can be scared of themselves. I guess, scared of stuff. We could play around with fear. Basically, the focus sounds like we're all really into the fear factor of things. Like that's the focus. Is fear, sensing fear, but I love the twist. I forgot who said it about it being scared of itself. And I think the mirror thing is so scary. So scary. It is so because
just imagine if you could fit loads of mirrors in Rec Room in one room and have a mirror made thing inside of it.
It's like everything will be fine until you if the mirrors are covered, everything can be fine in that big mansion. But once you remove the drapes or the blanket or whatever's covering the mirror, oh my gosh, that creature will just see itself, scream, and it takes everybody with him. Takes everybody with him, or something. How about Red scared of Buff Pow? Men in Black. Oh, you guys are guessing which movie? Toy Story. Oh man, you guys are hilarious. You're hilarious. What is his name? Earth 2? If someone can Google search like Will Smith, Jaden, Earth. Period. Like what's the name of that movie? That movie. Okay. All right. Okay, we've got it. What's next?
Right. So now that we've kind of found what we're going for, especially with the idea of like, if we want to go with the idea of it being scared of self as well as being kind of like almost kind of sniffing out for fear.
Yeah.
We would kind of think of, okay, as that creature, would we be calm? Would we collectively smell fear, or until we see ourselves in a mirror? Mm-hmm. Because of that, we would then go for soft kind of shapes. And then when you look in the mirror, it becomes the kind of like sharp shapes. Both shapes together.
Like it shapes, so like you imagine that the shape changes as it's. Oh, that's scary. Yeah. So when it looks in the mirror, it goes, oh, you're right. It becomes buff. Or not kidding. Not like buff. It just changes. It changes and gets jaggedy or something. Oh my gosh. Oh man, I'm already imagining. There's this film director named oh man, Guillermo del Toro. Guillermo del Toro. He does really good horror films, and I think the recent ones, or one of the recent ones that he helped like support. I don't know if it's called sponsor, but like it's called like Mama. It's like an indie horror. The character in that one, oh my gosh, when that character screams, like the camera shakes too. Like it's just very tense, and I'm like, I feel like I'm in an earthquake when that character screams. Like it's so scary. It just goes up to the camera and just goes like that. I'm like now oh my god, it's so good. Yes. Okay. I'm thinking of like kind of The Ring, but you see their face. Maybe you don't see anything until they see themselves in the mirror. Like they're all covered up. I mean, because maybe that's a character design. Like they're trying to avoid seeing themselves because they're scared of so they like maybe they're usually like they cover their eyes.
Maybe that could be the way to defeat them. Point a mirror at them, kind of like Dracula from Crescendo. Point a mirror at them. It hurts them. That's why they scream. They can't see themselves in the mirror.
Oh, I see. I was thinking
because
it scares all of us.
We're going by also not only is it scared of itself, the reason why it can't see itself in the mirror is because it amplifies the fear that it has for itself. It starts to scream.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it. Okay. All right. We're gonna do POW Jam style, like speed build. Okay. We're gonna get started, and maybe we'll throw one more prompt after some time. So how much time do we need? 15 minutes?
For this general bit, yes.
Okay.
To come up with the basic shapes.
All right, guys. All right. Do you want to use this board, or are you gonna go out into the over here into this open part? I lost you.
So what we're gonna do, we're probably gonna do it on here.
Okay, sounds good.
Because once we've done it, you can see up some white lines, and those are called guiding lines. Basically, what I do is make sure that everything's staying the right size.
Okay.
So that I'm doing the view, and when doing the front view, you know, all day somewhat the same size, so that you can kind of use that later on.
Nice. Okay. Okay, let's do it.
So, as a character that's kind of scared off, but kind of not only that, kind of goes after fear, which is it's trying to stay away from its own fear. What we're probably going to do is I'm going to start out with a sphere, because that's the softest shape you can get out of this at the moment. So imagine this with almost like antennae coming out the top.
Okay.
That could be some sort of form of how it smells fear. Like, kind of senses it through the antennae. You don't even have to keep as sphere. You could change it to a oval shape too, and that could kind of be its head. And then for the sharp shape, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a triangle for the body, so that really thin neck, but the really wide open bottom bit, almost like a frog. Frog. But as we know, you kind of tried to pick up a frog, and we've all seen them. We've all watched the video where someone's picked up a frog, or even looked at one and it starts screaming.
Yeah. Texture.
So that could be the body.
Okay.
That could be our general shape. And just a frog, we could have kind of like the legs that come out. And like almost. We'll kind of have the arms, or we'll kind of draw in lines for now just to reference the arms. So the arms could be here like this. And that could be our general shape for the alien, or whatever the thing is.
Wow.
And off of that, we can kind of build from that. So for example, we could do eyes. So we could have like 2 eyes on either side, or 1 eye on either side. And you could, like, all I'm doing here is I'm kind of just taking the basic shapes, and I'm looking at, okay, so for example, I use a triangle for the body, and then I kind of just go on top of it to show like, oh, these are where the arms are. And then for the eyes, I've just put 2 layers. There could be plenty of different ways you could do this. You could take this in any direction you want to go. But I'm trying to stick simple for now, as not to confuse anyone. So for the mouth, I've done a lot of modeling lately today, and I'm really in love with the whole like lower jaw bite, like the bottom jaw coming over the top lip. So I'm gonna take that triangle and turn it round. I'm gonna put it here, and I'm gonna represent our kind of overbite on the character. And I'm gonna draw on the line here so you can tell where's what. And then you can see that it's got a bit of an over the top of the actual head. So then that's immediately identifiable as, okay, so that's the jaw, that's the head, and that's the body. And in fact, you kind of take that in any direction you want. You could also kind of think about the text you want to use whilst doing this. I'll show you later on when we actually start building the character, where you can lay out the colours and kind of test out, okay, so this looks like this. Sometimes when building the character, it's better to kind of do it separately. For example, do a snout separate to the head, just in case you want to think like, okay, I wanna put this as a different colour to the head. Instead of having to like go through every shape and recolor and then kind of add bits in, you can simply just recolor what you've done straight away.
Nice.
I'm also gonna give some nostrils, some nice nostrils, to give it more of a somewhat creature instead of just plain shapes. So you can tell now that I've kind of taken the basic shapes and I'm just drawing on top, showing what I think would be nice to do. So for eyes, I am going to leave them like that, but what I am going to do is to get the look of the whole like, I'm angry type thing, or I can be angry type look. I'm gonna put a triangle there, and you see that kind of gives it the whole look with the eyebrows going on. But now they kind of look like horns. But as soon as I start to do this, and I kind of add the black line, signifying the actual eyebrow, you can see it a lot more apparent now as an eyebrow rather than a horn.
Nice.
So it's just like an angry little critter. And then what I am going to do at the bottom here, again, I'm going to use a triangle, because I'm using mainly triangles and spheres, because we want this to be some sort of kind of nice, almost not nice creature. Kind of want to balance the two from each other. So that it does look nice at first glance, but then as you start to, you know, approach it, the feelings change. It goes hair and it starts trying to kill you. That's how alien movies go for you. But yeah, so you can see here we've kind of created our basic shape. And from this we can kind of do the side view. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make all of this. I'm gonna bring it over here for a second and move it over, and then I'm going to use the same types of shapes that I've done here. I'm gonna take the shapes I've done, and then I'm just gonna copy them. And then I'm gonna move these shapes around to kind of portray the same thing I was doing before, except this time just a little bit different, because we're going from a side view rather than a this can be difficult for some people who don't understand how to actually do this, but that's why we're here today, guys, because I want to teach you how to do stuff like this. You could be doing it on a pad too, so like at home, if any of you have any graphics pads, try practicing this, try using simple shapes and make something out of it, even if it's simple. Doesn't have to be perfect. Anything will do, especially when it comes to building a character like this. But I do see it, especially if you're going to character design and kind of like character art in general, even 3D modeling, especially stuff like this we call graphic views, which is when you have a straight on front view or a straight on side view, back view. They are called orthographic views, which are mainly used for 3D modeling when actually modeling a character or an object, for depending on what you're actually going to be using them for. So again, the shapes that I'm putting here are just kind of this could change in the final version of the model. It can be bound to change at any point, because as a kind of character designer, your main goal is to make sure that what you create is exactly what you wanted. Because it's kind of a waste having to redo what you've already done if you're not happy with it. You're better off just kind of starting from here, because in all kind of designs, everyone will go through a phase where you sit there and you're kind of like, I'm not happy with this. I want to do something different, or I want to kind of change it. I recommend not changing it until you kind of have a base to work with. That's when I definitely recommend you kind of change things, because then at least you have somewhere to start off from. Which can help. It can help a lot, especially when using a character. Okay, so you can see here now that I've kind of got something I work with. I'm gonna give a little smile just to make it seem a little bit less aggressive. That I've now got a little bit of a design, in other words, and this can be used to create the final design of the character. Again, this is just simple, so the color red can be changed later on if we're not happy with it, but you can see that they are all the same height now. So I think it's safe to say that we can probably move on to actually drawing the character now and getting some some builds ready. In that kind of process too, we can also do some coloring and kind of figure out what works best and where. With this being simple, we could even add patterns on, like we can make the different color, we could make the entire eyes different. So yeah, I think that's this step done with. So just to make sure that it lines up with what we're going to be doing in further development, that's when we take our character and we start to kind of add more. I'm going to quickly do this. So what we're going to do here is what we're going to be using. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this and I'm going to clone it up to the further development, and this is where we're going to go ahead and refine the actual character itself. Now, in order to not ruin the drawing, even though we have a clone of it, what I'm going to do, and this is what I suggest when actually designing a character like this, where you go on the top of it, you need to see what you had before. I'm going to take a piece of glass and I'm going to put it over the top of it. This can let us draw over the top of it so that we have something that we can use. The opacity to pretty much 0, so if you type in 0 on the opacity, then you get this. This is what we're going to be using to further develop the character. Yeah, what I'm going to do is, to not get confused with the red and black, I'm going to take another color, maybe another that's easily seen, so probably green, if not probably blue. I'd say blue, because blue kind of contrasts with red and you can see it a lot easier. So I'm going to go over to the front view, and you can see now that using this as a base, I can actually just draw over the top of it and kind of get what I want and kind of change it if need be. And now that we've got a triangle, it doesn't need to be completely triangle too. You can kind of run off the edges just to make it seem a little bit more friendly. And you can see now that just by doing that simple thing of putting an overlay over the top, you can now start to work with it a little bit more. And this is where your outlines come into play, because once you've finished your outlines, that's where we'll probably move on to the final step of actually building the character. We get to build this at the end of this too, if you need it as a demonstration or a bit of reference. At the end of this, I will most likely put it on the invention store for us to download and actually find out how things were done and kind of take it apart and put it together, and kind of, even if you wanted to go over it to learn how to do that. So I've used a sphere here, so what I'm going to do is to just kind of cut out the character a bit more. I'm going to almost make it sphere-like whilst also making it a square. A bit of kiss to the eyebrow area, kind of making me, but then the rest of it looks really cute. So what I'm gonna be doing though, guys, is I'm using tube or a ribbon, sorry, on a piece of glass. This can be done using surface snap, which can be found when you pull up your Mac pen. You should just have a bit at the top saying snapping, and you just set that to surface, which automatically snaps it onto the glass. What I'm using is ribbon, and I'm just drawing over it and then mirroring it onto the other side. So that and you can do that using, when you clone, you should get an option where you've got your arrows with the plus signs inside of it. You then get an option next to it which is almost like a line with 2 arrows facing towards each other. When you click that, it then mirrors what you've done. And that's very helpful, especially when doing this. For a symmetrical character, sometimes you may want something that isn't symmetrical to make it more organic-like, which is completely fine. I use that sometimes when doing textures. I'll sometimes mirror the texture, and then I'll turn off the mirroring to be able to get stuff like even just little scratches, maybe little bits of fabric that sticks out in certain places but doesn't in others. It can be very useful. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to draw the nostril. So the way that I'm doing this too, where I'm kind of making my lines thicker, what I'm doing is I'm pressing the trigger down. Your options for your maker pen, when you open up your maker pen palette, you go to the settings tab, and there should be something on the second page called tube analog mode. What off means is, I think that's just kind of the same, so like no matter how much you press down the trigger, it will always stay the same width. You get brushstroke, which I believe is, yeah, so brushstroke is like, you can make go different sizes, however it will only do that while moving your maker pen. You have to be moving your maker pen to be able to change the brush size, and raw basically just means whilst you're doing it, you can just press down your trigger as much as you want, and it will kind of go by the pressure that you're putting on your trigger. That's how you do thin and thicker lines, especially when you're drawing, which is very helpful. So again, using the mirror technique, I'm kind of mirroring up. Sometimes it can be tricky using tube and ribbon though, because sometimes it will tend to break, and it just happens. It's just something that, you know, it just happens. Like, there's not really much to it. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna start right underneath the eyebrow line, drawing a line here, and using the pressure just to kind of get that little bit of detail in. So you can see at the bottom here we have a straight line that kind of goes into the jaw shape. What I'm going to do is, again, to make it feel a little bit more softer, is I'm going to add a little bit of a bump before it goes straight down. That way it kind of looks like it's got a bit of a eyelid going around the eye. Obviously not a usual eyelid for us as people, but an eyelid nonetheless. The shape of the character too, you might realise that I've kind of based it off of a frog. Mainly because, again, like, the videos of the frogs that always scream, the fact that this is something that screams when it looks in a mirror, it reminded me of those videos. And it's good to kind of rinse back what you're doing, or like what you want to for. So again, I'm using the mirror tool, and I'm gonna mirror the eye onto the other side. So you can see already that if I was to put this away from this drawing and kind of pull it to the side for a second, you can see that we've defined the character a whole lot. And that's great because it can be used. So like if I pull it over, you can see that it's very defined. It's a lot more kind of more of line work now rather than simple shapes, and that's good because it can be used later on when doing it. So now we're gonna start on the jaw. Again, I'm gonna go back what I've done here, except I'm gonna change up the jaw a little, make it seem a bit more almost like square and triangle like. So I'm gonna start in the middle. a little bit of a dip in the middle instead of it being straight. And then, so to create sharp edges like this too, what you usually have to do is you have to do a piece of tube and then you go like that, but you can see, like, you can go like that and kind of put another piece of tube going down, which creates a sharp edge. But sometimes when doing really sharp edges, I like to do one at the top and then do another, and you can see that it creates a really nice sharp edge, which is really nice for when you want to do sharp edges, especially on kind of like characters that require a sharp edge around like maybe a jawline or something. So I'm gonna add a little bit of a smile too, where the actual jawline or jaw shape goes up. It's not very noticeable, but once you kind of see it, then it does become noticeable. I'm also gonna round the bottom bit too, so that it kind of fits to the. So you can see here that now, as I said before, the shapes are only there as a reference. So for example, like you can see down here, I've kind of just rounded it off instead of having like a really straight line. That can sometimes help because it makes it feel a lot softer. It makes it feel a lot more kind of cute and welcoming, when in reality it's not. It's gonna scream as soon as it sees you. So this we get down to the body. I am gonna go by reference, but first I'm gonna start with the body. I'm gonna add some shoe-like quality to it, just so that it kind of stands out a little bit more rather than being a straight line. I'm also gonna add a bump in between where your arms go, which would be your upper arm and your forearm. That can help when animating, because you can figure out, and like building the character, you can figure out whereabouts your arm's gonna bend. So that can help a lot. So I'm gonna bring that in a little bit, because when you go down to your hand, your wrist starts to get smaller at the bottom, where you know your wrist actually is. So your arm starts to get a little bit smaller, and then this end bit at the bottom can be used for the hand. So I'm gonna do this line too, which kind of represents almost like the middle of the stomach. And then for now, I'm gonna mirror this over so that we have a base to use. So you can see now that we've kind of got a base to use on this, like almost, and that would kind of match with the front. And then we got to do the side, and once we do the side, then it's character building time, and then that's where the fun comes in. If any of you have questions in chat too, don't hesitate to ask. I'm good at answering questions whilst I build. So the Maker Pen I'm using at the moment, the Maker Pen skin, was through a contest map, which just so happened to be FiveNightsatFreddysSisterLocation. And the theme was Carnival. And this is actually my first ever Maker Pen skin. Like, this was the first one I ever got. I tried with Fall Festival, and I tried the movie Magic, which was when the director's cut map was built. And then, you know, through SisterLocation I got my Carnival one. But hey, what do they say? Third time's a charm. Third time lucky. And for everyone who played, I really could not have thanked you enough. Like, it does mean a lot, especially as a creator. Started out small, and kind of watched as I grew up in kind of Rec Room. The one thing I've never ever experienced was to, and I've only just started experiencing it now, is to kind of try and fit with the style of Rec Room. So, you know, I've been looking at stuff like this, and the way that texturing and stuff is done. But again, that's kind of outside of Rec Room, so we'll kind of think about that in another time. I'll probably do videos on that on my own channel about 3D modeling and stuff. But yeah, the Maker Pen skin, it was definitely a treat to get. I wasn't expecting it. And when we got called up second in the roomies, I was over the moon. I was really delighted because I knew, like, finally I got a Maker Pen skin. And I do encourage you guys to also go ahead and, you know, try in the contests. Even use stuff like this, just doing characters, like, look back at this and kind of use it as reference. Like, okay, so I need to kind of do this. So I'm gonna start doing a bit of the hands. I'm gonna make his hands really stubby, like his kind of fingers. I'm gonna make his fingers really stubby so that he appears cute. Kind of the look we want to go for this. We want to make him cute, but he's not cute at all. And that can be very misleading too, which is good, especially in a horror map. You want to go for a very misleading kind of character, one that looks cute, but then, you know, you turn your back for a second and pow, there you go, you know. See what I did there? I'm a funny joke. So yeah, again, I just mirrored it over. Hands can be very, you know, hard to do. I like to keep them very simple, usually stubs. When I come to doing my fingers and hands and stuff, they are usually very simple. You don't need to go overcomplicated with them. So I'm going to start with doing the legs here. I'm gonna make the kind of legs stick out a little less, but come in more, so it's very apparent that he's kind of sitting the way he is, or the way it is. We don't know, you know, what kind of creature it is yet. We haven't even given the creature a name. That'll probably be our last thing we do, though. Give it a name. I feel like the name's gonna be something along the lines of Gerald. Don't know why Gerald came into my mind, but as a builder, we think of weird things all the time. We have so many ideas floating through our heads. But yeah. So I'm gonna clone this over, like with the other bits, and you can see here that once I've added this bottom line, because otherwise it's going to look like he's kind of just a head, arms and legs and has no body. So I'm going to merge all this together. You can do that by selecting all of the pieces, and 3 little dots should show up when you click on 3 little dots. Oh no, not 3 little dots, it's now an options tab. When you then click on that, oh, I forgot the antennas. I forgot how long they were. I think I put that in a little bit too far. But yeah, so we're nearly in with a front view. And then I will also be putting the outlines on the invention store too, for you guys, kind of, if you want to build your own. Maybe try doing the same thing your own way. I'm gonna bend over the antennae a little bit, just to give it that maybe little bit of sadness to it. I mean, who won't be sad when it can't look at anybody? Sad little thing. But yeah. So now that I've done that, if I pull that over, you can see a really nice clean outline for the character. Oh. So yeah, you can see we've got a really nice clean outline for the character now, which is really cool. So that's just the front view. But you can see how, you know, just by taking the simple shapes and kind of finding them simple shapes, you can get something that... My hand's died. So yeah, like, that is mainly your kind of your first view. Obviously, the second view will be a lot quicker to do because we've already done it the first time. We already know how to kind of make from that. As people watching, as people kind of learning from this, I wouldn't say it's not too bad to kind of rush through doing your outlining. However, I would say try and take the time to think about the way you want the character to be designed, because even though I did say before, like, it doesn't matter as long as, because things will change the way. Things will definitely change along the way, but sometimes the outline serves as a base for the rest of this, you know, the character. So you want to try and change as little as possible when doing the outline, so that all your changes come in good in the model. For example, the jaw might have a bit of a puff at the side, or the teeth might no longer be attached to the jaw, but instead they're actual teeth, you know, stuff like that. The antennae might be longer, might have spikes on the back of it. You know, little things like that can be changed afterwards. Like, you could even give this guy a tail and it probably won't look too bad with a tail. But for purposes, I'm going to stay very simple and kind of stick to a very simple design. Now here's where the hard part comes in. Doing the side view, because the side view has to match what the front view is. So for those intentions of trying to match it, I'm going to quickly go like this. I'm going to pull this over here so that I have a reference for what I need. And again, like, you can just do, it's just doing the same thing. You're just drawing the kind of details on there. And it's a very easy thing to do. So I definitely think all of everyone watching, you know, and kind of learning from this will definitely be able to do this. Even if you're not the best at it, you know, we all learn. We all have to learn from somewhere. So it's better to learn by, well, not even by yourself. Try and teach yourself these certain things, even if you have to keep on doing them to kind of learn how that works. I mean, you've got it at that point. Then you've kind of got it in the bag of what you want to do for that character and techniques you want to use. So it's something I would definitely say and worth it to try. But again, like, it can be tedious, it can be kind of scary to think about, like, oh, you know, I'm not good at this, or I'm kind of failing at this. It's all, you know, we all have stuff like that. We all kind of get a bit scared every now and again, like, are we doing it right? Is the character design a little bit, you know, too recognizable, or Roy. You know, we all get those thoughts of character designs where we kind of don't know whether it's good enough, or kind of don't know whether it fits the theme of what we're going for. I mean, that's why we have design elements and design works. You know, you kind of go in, you redesign it, you'll kind of sketch it up a couple times before you come out with the right outcome. Like, a character like this can be developed on, and that's good. Like, you want to think of the character development. Where did they come from? What their background? You know, like, what are they, basically? And that comes later on when it comes to the story element of stuff. At the moment, the story element is not that much of a worry. So you can see here, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to start to make and draw out the jaw. Now, for the purpose of this, I'm not exactly staying on track. Like, I don't think it lines up, but that's kind of what you try and do. You want to try and line it up. If you don't line it up, it's fine, because you can always work off of, you know, your reference more than the outline. Kind of go off the outline more of a reference. And then I'm gonna add and then you can kind of add the head. I don't think that lines up either, and that's why we have the undo button. And then you can kind of, I think that lines up. That lines up about there. So you can see that we're getting somewhere. It's almost like a pup. I get very big pup vibes from this. And you can see that I can kind of curve this under, lift this up, and then you get your brow shape from the side. So again, I'm going to change up these two, and I'm going to give it a little bit more of a snout, and where the nostrils will go, and then the eye shape. But again, these are just rough sketches, and sometimes things won't line up, but that's fine. It's fine that it doesn't line up. It won't always line up. Like, that's just how character design goes, especially when doing this. It's a little easier when you do it in kind of like drawing applications. That's where it becomes a little easier to create a character. But since we're in recroom, sometimes it can be a little difficult to line things up in character design in terms of drawing it. But you can see now that if I was to pull this to the side, you can see now we have a side view. Or we have something that we can work for side view. And that's our last step for this bit. So then we can move on to actually building the character. Whoop whoop. Yeah. So, you know. Right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy these here in open space, which will probably go over in that direction, so that we're in a very open space, and we can self-scale to build the character. Now, you might notice they're white. For this, I'm going to take black, so then they're a lot easier to see now. Ta-da! So now you have what you need to build the character. So I'm going to turn this outline to the side, since this is the side view, and I'm going to move it to the middle of the character, and you can see that some of the things anyway will start to match up with each other, and then you kind of build off of that. So this is where all character design leads to. This is where it starts getting real. This is where it becomes an actual object you can, build. So, as said before, we'll probably experiment. So I'm going to go with red and I'm going to go with gravel. Mainly because things like this can be changed later on. And red gravel seems like a good material to use for this. Maybe use a kind of like a sand material for the bottom jaw. But, I mean, let's get started building this, shall we? Like, we are at a stage now where we've got the characters kind of outlined. We can start building. We are one step away from doing this, and maybe we'll add some textures later on, which I'll show you that too. Some little bit of texturing. So I'm gonna start with the snout here. And I'm going to start kind of forming the shape of the snout, usually going from the side and like following the outline the best I can. I know I never put a snout outline on the front, but you can judge him by the nostrils. You know, it's a very straight and then round snout, like it doesn't immediately round out. Another thing too, when building characters like this, it's also great to sit back and kind of look at what you're doing and kind of look at it from different views. Because as you're up close to the outline, you can sometimes mistake it. So sometimes it's okay to lie back, kind of have a look from a greater angle than what you're getting. Now, for brow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a sphere real quick. And that's going to be the layout for whereabouts the brow actually is. So now we know the brow starts there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some tube and fat it. So for those that are have just joined the stream, we have some steps that we've gone through to be able to get to this point. If you can rewind the stream, probably go have a look at those, get a little bit of a brief for what we're doing right now. But at the moment we're actually starting to build the character using the outlines that we've done. If you want to know more about the kind of development of how we got to this point, again, just rewind the stream and kind of have a look at that. But now we're actually building the character, trying to find out the best possible way we can build the character. Sometimes, depending on what we're going for, you can kind of judge it on ink. So like, some elements might be kind of more ink costly than others. At the moment I'm trying to stick to kind of lower ink, so you guys, out there can kind of learn off of how to keep it low but still make it look really, really nice, really vibrant and really colourful, depending on the character you want. So, you guys joining the stream, you've hit a good point. You've gotten to the point where it starts getting real, it starts coming to life. So, as I was going to say, I'm going to start using 10 facet tube to kind of make the eyebrow. Again, trying to keep the shape. And sometimes with smoothing, you might notice in a lot of the models that they try and smooth it out. So what I like to do is I like to take the edge of the sphere here, and I kind of like to try and match it up so that it's very like unnoticeable. And then you just carry on like adding the tube. The way I'm doing the tubing, by the way that it's connecting with each other, that's done using connecting nearby tubes. That can be found in your Make Pen settings. But again, like eventually I'll go over all of that in like on my channel in my own time. Um, so I'm using a Rift S. So I'm running off of Oculus. You can do this on any device. It might be a bit more difficult on screen mode, but I have seen people out there that have done it before. We used to run a class where we'd teach this type of stuff, and there was a really good screen mode that would build like really nice models. It blew my mind as a character creator. You know, it blew my mind just looking at how he'd actually, you know, done it. So you can see now that, you know, we're having a bit of a dilemma. It's not actually matching up. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna start from this end instead and work our way through this end going this way. That way, hopefully, it matches up a little bit more. But that being said, like, this can be done on any platform. I used to build on PlayStation VR. So it definitely does prove that you're not limited by what you're playing on. You never will be limited by what you're playing on. You're only limited by how much you think you can. And as long as you stick to it and know that you can do what you want to do, then full speed, you know, let the train go. So now you can see that we've got a brow here and here. It's not very apparent it's a brow at the moment, but that can be fixed simply by putting a sphere in the middle here and kind of defining the brow in the middle. This will also look a lot better when you've actually got like shapes, like spheres coming out of the edges. But yeah, again, like as a character creator, I used to do this on PlayStation. So you're definitely limited by the VR that you're on. Even screen mods are not limited at all. There might be a little bit of limitation because they don't, like, screen mod don't have a concept of kind of how far away things are like VR players do. But it can be done. It definitely can be done, and there are some very creative people out there. So I'm counting on you guys. You guys are like really creative. I think I've seen a lot of things that you guys have done. In general, just RedReebooTDRAWS is a really creative game. So, but yeah. So you might notice too that I'm kind of putting spheres on top of each other. What I like to do is I'm going to demonstrate this real quick using a texture. Let's see. Right. So on the edge of a sphere, let me turn this. On the edge of a sphere, you might see this line here. That is kind of like the edge of the sphere. What you want to do is when you do another sphere, you want to try and match it up so that that goes over that line, and you can see you get a really nice, smooth looking, you know, surface. And that's how you kind of start with smoothing your character. You will get sometimes when edges are a little bit harder to cover up. Just try your best in that case. Try adding, you know, 1 or 2 spheres on top, just to try and shape it up and make sure that none of the edges are showing. But you know, as a person who's been doing this for a very long time, it's nice to teach you guys who have been wanting to be taught character design, because I know a lot of people have asked me about it in the past. So it's really great that POW has invited me on a stream today to actually show you guys how it's done you guys how you can actually start doing this simply just by following a few steps. Don't try to overcomplicate it either. So like when you're watching the video again and you're kind of understanding like, okay, so I need to do this, don't think of it as a big chunk. Like don't think of it as I gotta do this, then this, then this, then this. Think of it as small steps. So I got to start with the basic shapes. Once I've done that, and then I kind of just outline what's already there in front of me whilst I do detail. And then after you've done that, you can do this and you can start going by the outlines, building the characters. And it's nice because your finished result will turn out looking hopefully exactly how you wanted it. So just like we did before, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clone flip the actual object. So I'm going to go to this side because we only need one side. So we're going to clone flip it just to check how it looks. And you can see there that it's actually following the outline. Like, somewhat following the outline nicely. Some things might just need to be pushed out a little bit more. Like so, but you can see that it is following the outline. So we're getting pretty much what we wanted. For the meantime too, I'm also going to add a sphere for the eye. I'm not going to colour it though, because it doesn't need to be coloured yet. But I'm going to line that up with the outline just to make sure it's right. Going up from side too. There you go. Probably bring it in a little bit though, because I think it's a little bit further out than it needs to be. But yeah, you can see now that lining that up, we're getting exactly where we want to be, which is great. It's great when you get to this moment, because you know that your character is coming along nicely. And I'm hoping that you guys in chat, I'm hoping this is actually helping you with any questions you had into character design, like how do I do this? How do I actually smooth out an object? Because I know that's come up a couple times when building characters. But again, I'm always here to help if need be. I'll eventually do tutorials, which I hope will help other people too. So, but you can see here, even though it's not like on the actual outline, what I've done is I've almost gives it like a snout. I've almost given it like some sort of alien type snout where I can kind of line up this too, so I can have like this little edge bit around the eye come down, and then we can kind of work on this a little bit more. Just simple things such as that give the character so much more of a background. Just little things. That's all you need in stuff like this. Just miniature things that create a character's backstory and the way that they behave and the way that they look can also describe how they behave. But again, like if you guys need to dissect this for any reason, I will be putting this on the invention store afterwards, so that you guys can actually go ahead and dissect it and have a look at how did they do this, like how did they smooth it out, how did they find out about these certain things. You can learn a lot from this when it comes to shaping too, like making sure you get the correct shape, so even just changing what it looked like at the end compared to what it started with. But yeah, it's definitely something worth picking up on and learning, because there are a lot of people out there, especially with maps, that kind of look for character designers and character modelers because they need them. Like, you can have a story, but what's a story without a character? And a lot of things, like, you could have a story without a character, but either way, there's always going to be some sort of character in there, even if that's like, you know, emotions from like a storm or emotions from like weather. You know, there is always some sort of character element to something in a story. You'll see it. And having that kind of element too of being able to take the character that you've kind of come up with, like in the moods, and then changing that into an actual character, can help. It can help a lot. And it's often used when they kind of need a character to look and feel a certain way, and that's used with every character. Like, every character will go through sort of design element about them, like the design process of knowing what's what, and kind of how you need that character to feel. For example, like this character, we want them to feel kind of almost cute and scary at the same time. And just something as simple as like the little ridge here can almost make him look like he's snarling at you, which is always great. I love the snarling effect to creatures. It always makes them seem somewhat just scary, even though they're not even doing anything, but they're just snarling. So right now, at the moment, what I'm doing is I'm going back over it with, so like described when we were looking at Freddy Fazbear at the beginning of the stream. For anyone who's joined the stream at the moment, we were looking at Freddy Fazbear and all the models that are down there. We'll probably go back down and have another look at some point. But we were going through like each character, and on Freddy Fazbear, you know, there a tube around the eye kind of to block it out. So that's kind of a way that you can block out things and make them kind of smoother. So you can see here too that I've kind of changed things up a little bit. Like now the kind of shape of what's actually being on like the snout and the teeth from the top have completely changed. Like there's a brand new shape there, because I feel like that worked a lot better for the character, and probably have like a big hole there where you can have teeth showing. You can see here that putting that together, you're getting something really similar to the lines. And again, like stuff like this can be changed, like colors can be changed if need be, shape can be changed. But again, remember, like, now that the mirror tool is a thing, you know, you can mirror the actual object. So you only have to do one half of it, and then just mirror it over using the mirror, using the clone tool, with the mirror option on it, like when you go to clone the object. So it's definitely useful having that there, being able to actually, you know, being able to actually clone the object. So this time I'm going to start with the first, because I need to create like the teeth, or the tooth that kind of goes in between there. I feel like that's a little bit too high. So what I am gonna do, I'm gonna start with that, go inwards, go outwards, and then go upwards. And then I'm gonna move this bit down because I feel like that kind of hits it too high. But again, you can see that we're actually getting somewhere when it comes to doing the model. Like, we're actually getting somewhere we need to be, which is great. It's great that we're actually getting there finally. So you can see that's what's going to create the jaw shape, and when you mirror it, you know, and then you can kind of move it down and it's a separate piece, so you can see that when we open it, it'll look like that. This is a bit of a demonstration for jaws. Usually you would do just the spheres first. You could do it that way and then go over the top. Sometimes it's easier to do the tube first than it is doing the sphere first. It just depends on the way that you feel is easier for you. I can kind of work with both because I've been doing it for a while, so I kind of work with both tube going first and spheres going first. But yeah, again though, if you have any questions in chat, feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer, especially for like those who's just joined who has very many questions on what's happening right now. But yeah. But I think I'm gonna do the head. Well, I'm gonna leave you guys with a task. So I'm gonna do the head and the head only, and then I'm gonna leave the body to you guys. And see how you guys can use the techniques used for the head and kind of put that into the body and see how well you can kind of replicate the style that was done for it. Is the process difficult? So I would say for beginners, probably yes. The process can be difficult for beginners, but as long as you follow the simple steps used to create a character, then no, it should be pretty straightforward. But again, if you're a new person in this, then yeah, it will kind of tickle your brain a little bit. You're gonna do it, but that's just how everyone starts out. Okay, so for those that have just joined the stream and don't actually know who I am, hello, my name is Red, and I do character models in RecRoom. I have a very big passion for it, and if you're wondering what this alien is right here, this is something that we've been working on throughout the stream. Feel free to rewind, kind of go back and watch the kind of process that we've had to go through in order to get to this point. And thank you for joining the stream and being with us today. What monster is it? I actually don't know. I think this is just an original monster that's kind of just. So, for this character, for those again that I've joined and are wondering about this character and kind of want to know a little bit more about him, this character is a kind of what we have designed as a character based around the emotion of fear. So this character would basically, he's the embodiment of fear, as we would see him designing the character as an embodiment of fear. And we had ideas of like the fact that he's scared of himself just as much as he's scared of others, as much as he scares others. So little things like that. And then the design process kind of went into that. So for example, using triangles, making things really sharp, you can kind of get an almost like angry kind of feel from that. So almost like the eyebrow is kind of always angry, but however the body is kind of, the body and the head are almost blockish and round at the same time. So it gives off a very nice kind of cute feel to him, even though he's not. He's kind of misleading, which is exactly the kind of feel going for. We want to go for a very misleading kind of feel for it. So I'm going to go back to 10 facet tube, and I'm going to create the antennae using probably 8 centimeter. And stick to the outlines. But you can see here that sticking to the outlines, we've kind of gotten something really nice. So I'm gonna quickly go ahead and change that and make that side mirrored so that we have that side. So there are things that can be fixed on this model too. Oh, there are things that can be fixed on this model, which I definitely do suggest. If you guys want to do that as when you get the invention. So yeah, it's worth learning the kind of process to go through, because once you've learned that, you can kind of use that. So now that we've kind of gotten the shape of the head really, we can start to add a little bit more. So this is when detail comes in. So this is where we'll start to kind of add a little itty bitty textures that go into the character itself. And this can be done by, again, either recoloring, you know, the actual. This can be done by recoloring shapes that already exist, or you do it by adding more shapes like I'm doing here to kind of give the the creature a little bit more of a texture to it. So I've like added a bit of texture to the eye, so that it isn't just plain. And I'll probably end up doing the same here with this. So I'm going to use a dark red, and because we don't want it to be too dark, and as we can see that is a little bit dark, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use rock so that it's just a little bit brighter than the, you know, the actual red, so it's not too noticeable, not too not too dim, not too blended in the time either. And you can see just by doing that we've defined the actual brow shape. You can do that in between the kind of bits here if you want it to look like it's snarling, for example. Kind of place that in between. Kind of make the features pop out a little bit more. And you can see that it's helped a big deal when doing this. So remember that, you know, just because you've got a model, sometimes texturing can help a lot too. I use texturing a lot on my models. And you can see that when you've got that and you mirror it, you get something a little like that. Nice and cute, but still pretty terrifying when it wants to be. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to do the head, and then I'm probably going to save this as an invention, probably upload the head, upload the outlines, and I want to see you guys kind of finish it off with the body, kind of learning from what you've, you know, been taught there in the live stream, because I feel that that's very engaging, especially for you guys, being able to finish it off and get different results, and so you can match it up perfectly or match it up to the... Yeah, definitely. I'd love to see what you guys kind of finish it off with, but you know, I guess that's a wrap for character design today. Kind of learning your simple features that you can use to create a character. I hope you guys have definitely, you know, enjoyed this. I've learned a little bit off of this. Yeah, you do get stuff as well. Like in Blender, when you mirror it, you can like a little kind of dial that you can change. Again, stuff like that, like doing the rec room style of things. I'll probably go through video, like I'll probably talk about that if you guys ever want to learn about things other than just rec room building, and you want to kind of go into how to do stuff in other software. Like here using spheres, you just smooth them out using the spheres. Again, in Blender, you have a little dial when you mirror it, where you can kind of merge the vertices together so that it becomes a seamless kind of, you know, bit in the middle, and you won't have to worry about that. Yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed learning kind of from my experiences and what, you know, what I've gone through in order to do this. and hopefully you guys kind of learn off of that and go do your own thing and kind of. I want to see what you guys can do with this. Like, I want to see you guys kind of using the same techniques, if not like your own technique, with a blended in kind of mine as well as yours, and kind of learning off of what has been done today. Like texturing will probably be another thing I probably go into. But to keep it simple, I started with the head. Again, the head will be on the invention store just as well as the outlines. And I'd love to see if you know, how you guys kind of interpret the body. If you give it a tail, if you do like spikes on the back, if you give it claws, or even if you change a bit of the head up and kind of give like spikes at the back, or your eyebrows, or very defined features. Even like, I didn't add nostrils. There was nostrils on the actual model, but I think not adding nostrils would have made it a little bit more cuter and misleading. So yeah, I'd love to see what you guys come up with.
All right. Oh my goodness. Look at this little guy, you guys. He looks adorable now. Okay. I imagine when this little guy screams, it's gonna be like jaw unhinging situation. Oh my gosh, like his whole physique will just warp into this little frantic looking, like, it's like my talking lines. Look at these talking lines going all jaggedy. His head, his body goes jaggedy and just like, oh my gosh, I love it. I'm Jamdian says lessons in character design with Red. Nice. Oh, Haven is like, wow, look at this, crazy the before and after.
But yeah, it's definitely something I think it's best even if you want to rewind and kind of go back to the beginning, kind of learn how to do it again,
for sure,
if you're kind of struggling with stuff like that. But after I've been playing the game for 3 years now, so this is very simple compared to stuff that you can see down here. Anyone who joined a little late, these are the stuff I did before, where I've taken a lot of time to kind of build, and you take that much time and you'll be building character models in no time at all. But yeah, it has been fun kind of teaching you guys how to do character modeling, and I look forward to seeing what you guys come up with.
Yay!
And what you guys create.
Awesome. So if anybody out there is down for this little challenge of coming up with your own body, you can follow these stencils that Red made, the front and side view. Follow those, like the way he did the head, to fill in the shapes, like fill out the head, or maybe design your own body. Have fun with it, and then definitely take photos. You can hashtag it on Instagram, POW Jams, or you know what? Just simply put it in the creativity channel on the POW Jam Discord. Put it in there. That'd be awesome. Let's go.
I do look at what everyone makes, so I feel like someone's gonna take it to a whole new level and make it terrifying.
Yeah.
With what they learn.
I think it'd be really fun to have like a full-on workshop.
Yeah.
And then like after you demonstrate this, then they all in the workshop have the rest to work with. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. Probably coordinate something like that in a stream where part of it gets done to demonstrate the technique, and then they do the rest. Be fun. All right. Ooh, that'd be fun. Okay. I'm just curious. Is anybody watching right now interested in learning to build, especially character designs in game? And if you are, would you guys want to do like that kind of like a challenge where Red will show a technique, how to do something, and then you guys take it the rest of the way and continue building on your own during the stream, and then we get to see what you guys create. It's actually, it's pretty much a POW Jams. It's a POW Jams, but the prompt is use this technique. So it's a POW Jams. Oh, folks are asking if you've ever made a buff POW.
I've never made a buff POW.
Nope. Not yet. It would be probably scary, like scarier. Right now it's a curse. It's cursed.
Dude, just imagine like, Ignited Freddy with buff POW.
I don't know if I would hug her or run from her.
Instead of POW
I love her.
Instead of POW Jam, it's Chow Bam.
Chow Bam.
Chow Bam.
Chow Bam. Oh my gosh. And the chat's like, you guys, okay. We'll give a heads up. We'll give them a heads up, and we can make it like an event. If you're down to do that. Like a workshop.
Yeah,
Jams, like workshop collabo. Yay! That'd be super cool. And we'll live stream the results at the end, the gallery walk part where we get to see what everyone built. Yeah, let's go. High fives. Thanks, Red.
High five.
Oh, yes. All right, guys. One more turnaround look real quick. Let's have a looky here. And all right, Red. What are some questions? Okay, Red, let's talk about tell me about your favorite RRO and your favorite weapon in that RRO. If it's, tell me about your favorite weapon, depending on the RRO. Yes.
My favorite weapon in RRO is the whip. And my favorite RRO is Crescendo. I think that's always been my favorite just because it's almost like a Halloween themed Rec Room original.
Yeah.
I wish I wish they did an actual Halloween Rec Room.
Wow.
That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be fun.
That'd be awesome. Build it.
I always had like concept in my head for like vampires.
Oh wow. That'd be cool. That'd be awesome. Yeah, you guys, thank you guys so much guys for tuning in. They want a request. All right, Red, you're gonna help with the outro for what they're requesting. That means you're gonna have to help with the outro. You're ready.
Oh god, why the
okay. All right, Red. The outro. Let's hold on, chat. What does Red say for the outro? Let's see if you guys know, and then Red will. What does Red say for the outro? What do you do for the outro? Yeah, tell us. Let's see how trained you guys are. Let's see if you guys are trained. All right, here we go.
Oh god.
All right, so for the outro, they're talking about they want Rec and Seek. All right, hug that sub. Hug the sub, guys. All right, guys. So for the outro, we're gonna say basically here we're gonna team up. I'm gonna be like, all right, you guys, thank you guys so much for watching this POW Jam live stream. Super appreciate you guys swinging through and welcoming Red to the stream as well, and I'm having them share their amazing wisdom and knowledge. And these techniques, you guys, are not just for the maker pen. They were actually tapping into what professional 3D modelers like approached. Like they'll model one side, clone it, and things like that. There were techniques in here that is used in 3D programs that Red has adapted and does in game. Like this whole stencil thing with the front view and side view, that's literally what is done when 3D modeling in programs like Blender and Maya, 3ds Max. Yeah, so high five there, like taking what you're learning right now and then like transferring into Rec Room, those techniques. Super big brain. Awesome job. All right.
Super big brain.
Yeah, super big brain. All right, guys. So we're going to do the outro now. So thank you guys so much for watching. If people are like, we're ending it here, I'm like, yes. The polls, the live stream goals. We were kinda not there just yet, but that's okay because we've got tomorrow. That's why it's okay. We're gonna recharge our pals. Recharge our pals because it's a we're gonna relax. All right. Oh, thank you guys so much. You guys are so funny. All right, Bugsy, Nostalgia, Haven Duck. I might be playing squads just for funsies, so you guys might see me in there. All right, see you guys tomorrow. POW Jam hugs.